First of all, the U.S. President Barack Obama's foreign policy is in the spotlight.
That's right. It's been in the spotlight for quite some time now. I pulled out, first of all, an article from the Daily Beast, which talks about the fact that we often hear stories about critical junctures or pivotal moments in foreign policy. It's hard to recognize them, but this time, this is a very important moment, not only for Obama, but for the world in general. The credibility of NATO, the international order in the Middle East, and the foreign policy legacy of Barack Obama's presidency. All these things are genuinely on the line. You can see the title here. It says, "This really is Obama's moment of truth." And also, what's in question is the role of the United States in the world. Can we lead anymore? That's what this article wonders. The stakes are high. If Obama can lead now on all these issues, well, we'll perhaps forget his recent history. That's what this article says. I pulled out two cartoons as well that are focusing on Obama as he reflects on how to react to these challenges. Here you can see this cartoon in China Daily. Obama reflecting on how to react to the threat of ISIS in Iraq and Syria. Well, as he's reflecting, that organization, of course, is slithering dangerously up his leg. Here you have this cartoon in The Independent, which is critical of Obama and the international community in general. You can see Obama with David Cameron, Angela Merkel, and François Hollande. They're playing a game of spin the wheel. All options are on the table as to how to react to the situation in Syria. Airstrikes, ground troops, make up with Assad, or do nothing, or spin again.
Now, Obama's also drawing a lot of criticism at home.
That's right. I pulled out a cartoon, an article by Mitt Romney, so the former Republican candidate to the presidency. Of course, Obama beat him. You can see here he's calling for the need for a mighty U.S. military. And he says, as Russia invades, China bullies, Iran spins centrifuges, the Islamic State threatens. Well, here we have Washington that's slashing the military. The president is wrong about this, says Mitt Romney. Nothing less than freedom and peace are in the balance.
Some stark words there. Now, papers are also focusing on a new video posted online yesterday by Al-Qaeda.
That's right. Slate likens this video to a bid for continued relevance at a time when Al-Qaeda's international prominence is being overshadowed by the Islamic State organization. You can see the title here. It says, Al-Qaeda wants you to know it still exists, and it's opening a new branch in, well, Asia, actually. And in this video, the chief of Al-Qaeda, Ayman al-Zawahiri, you can see a photo of him there, he announced a new regional expansion in the Indian subcontinent. So I went and looked at the Indian press. How are they reacting to this threat? Well, there is a sense of concern. This is the front page of The Hindu here. You can see that India is now in Al-Qaeda's sights. There is a clear and present Al-Qaeda danger, but this does seem like a PR stunt from Al-Qaeda. Basically, all this is part of the war to become jihad's superpower, and the timing of this video and the content suggests that it's really rival ISIS that's pushing Al-Qaeda to look for new frontiers.
Now, papers in India are also focusing on a report by the World Health Organization on suicide.
That's right. This is a very interesting report. It's the very first world comprehensive report on suicide, and the results are really striking. You can see the front page of the Times of India here. It says that India is the world's suicide capital with 2.6 lakh cases per year. One lakh is about 100,000. So India has about 260,000 cases of suicide a year. That's by far the largest number of suicides. It accounts for nearly a third of the global total, which is 800,000, and it's twice as much as China, which comes in second. Now, The Guardian is also reporting about this report. You can see here it says that every 40 seconds someone kills themselves, and you can see a map.
And that's
actually
around the world, I believe.
It's around the world, exactly. Now, there's a map in The Guardian which shows exactly which countries have the highest rates. And the director of the World Health Organization said that this report is a call for action to address a large public health problem which has been shrouded in taboo for far too long.
Let's end on a lighter note now, and you've got something about frogs' legs?
That's right. Now, French people are famous or infamous for eating frog legs, but France imports most of its frog meat. There's one famous French frog farmer, but he's retiring. You can see a photo of him, André Neveu. So, well, chefs are really upset about this. You can read about it in the Wall Street Journal.
All right. Thanks so much, Florence Villemino. Definitely be checking that out. Now, in just a few minutes, we'll be taking a break, but then after we come back in today's Focus Report, How long will it take to rebuild Gaza? Thousands of homes, factories, and schools have been destroyed, and 10 days after the end of Operation Protective Edge, our reporters inspect the damage. All that and more coming up.